All right, now in this example, we're going to be converting this following Roman numeral into Hindu-Arabic numerals, or in other words, our numerals, the ones we use. So the thing that can be a bit tricky about Roman numerals is this. When the value of the symbol, and I'm talking about when I go from left to right here, when the value of the symbol I'm reading goes up, so smaller number than a bigger number, I actually need to subtract if I'm going from left to right. However, if the value of the number I'm reading goes down as I'm going from left to right, that's addition. So the best example I can give you of this is if I write IV. Remember, I represents 1, so I'm starting at 1, and V represents 5. So I went from 1 to 5, I went up. So this is 5 minus 1, which would be 4. This is how the Romans would write 4. Whereas if I decrease in the value as I go from left to right, so VI, remember this is 5 and this is 1, this would be 5 plus 1, which is 6. And this is the hardest thing, this is the trickiest thing about Roman numerals. And the only way to get used to it and get quick with it is to do plenty of examples. So let's go into this one right here. So first, let's go through and label individually what the values of each symbol is. So M represents 1,000. C represents 100. M is 1,000. X is 10. C is 100. I is 1. And V is 5. Okay. Now I'm going to scan this and I'm going to look for anywhere where I go from a smaller number to a bigger, or where the value increases, because those I need to subtract and they're going to sort of stick together. So if I look at this, 1,000 to 100, okay, going down in value, 100 to 1,000, uh-oh, I went from a smaller number to a bigger number. So this is going to be a subtraction, so I'll stick those together right now. Now I'll move on here. I don't need to worry about the M 1,000 because it's stuck right here. This will be one value, whatever it is. So now I'm going to X. So X is 10 and C is 100. Oh, I just did it again. I went from a smaller value to a bigger one. So these are also going to be stuck together. All right. So don't need to look at the C anymore because I know it's married to this number right here and we'll figure it out. Okay, I is 1. And then V is 5. Again, I went from a smaller number to a bigger number. So those are grouped together. Okay, so now we can work through this. So because I went from smaller to bigger, these ones that are put in green like this is going to be 1,000 minus 100 because the smaller number came first. So 1,000 minus 100 is 900. What about XC? Well, again, I went from smaller to bigger, so this is 100 minus 10, which is 90. Now I to V, well, I use that in the example here. It's going to be 5 minus 1, which is 4. And then over here, the M, that's just 1,000. So then once you've figured out those values, you'll just add these up. And so we have 1,000 plus 900 plus 90 plus 4, and that's going to equal 1,994. So this right here, MCMXCIV, is how the Romans would write the number 1,994. And that is this example.